Welcome to On the Chain. This is Jeff here with co-host Chip. What is going on, Chip? What's going on, everybody out there in the On the Chain world? Tell you what's going on. All good things, all positive news. Things are looking up. The world's great again. And it all starts right here on the chain because, Chip, we've called pretty much everything. We've been right on a lot, and things just keep getting better. Is Gary Gensler going to resign? And there's a good probability that he will, or at least
Doesn't matter. He's done
there's a
anyway.
there's a door that might, he's not going to wait around until it hits him in the ass. Governor's getting ready to sue the SEC. Why? Because Gary Gensler. Ripple meeting with Trump. What's up with that? And why Chris Larson? Another question. XRP hitting all-time highs. That's big news. I think that's the
Wait,
biggest news of the
all-time
day.
highs? No,
I mean, not all-time highs. XRP will hit all-time highs. Will it hit
well,
all-time highs? We don't know that for a fact, but it hit $1.07. It's at $1.07. That's an all-time high in my book.
well, it is for the last year. That's all-time.
It's for like
really
the last 20 years or something like that.
47 cents not too long ago. So
Man.
let's go. We have a lot to get through.
Welcome to On the Chain.
Welcome to On the Chain, everybody. Everybody. Yay.
Happy Saturday.
Everyone. Everyone happy.
What's up? We haven't seen Catherine on in forever.
In a while. Well, I would say forever.
It's been a while. Davey X. We haven't seen Davey X on. Maybe everyone might be behind the scenes someplace, but it's good to see everybody coming on. And
yeah.
Alchemist, mandatory GTFO, Gary Gensler, Sack Watch. That's right. Starts right here. You heard it here first.
Right now. It doesn't really matter what happened. People are so worried about Gensler. Look, he's a short timer. Okay. Either he's embarrassed when he gets, when they pass that SEC Stabilization Act and it eliminates his position and he's just, I don't know, he's gone. Or, he's going. It doesn't matter. It's just a matter of time. So, I mean, in the last three administrations that turned over in December, Clayton left, and you had Mary Jo White left after when Trump came in. So you have a precedent there, and he's probably going to do the same. Although he seems like the captain of the Titanic. He'll go down with the ship. He feels like he's got a noble mission, and he's the only one that believes it because half the people you see have become don't believe in the anti-crypto stance. So
that's exactly right. They just need to grab all these heads of these three-letter agencies, put them all together, maybe just ship them off all to Guantanamo for all the overreach and the treacherous acts they've committed against the people. And for that, purpose, you think Gary Gensler, what did he do? Did he uphold the government? Did he uphold the administration? He took it a little bit too far. He went after the people. He said that he knew better than everybody else. But that on its own is a direct attack. And you think about the millions, if not billions of dollars it cost people. And it really disrupted, people's lives, disrupted progress for a long time. And, you get to overcome that because now we can see, the forest through the trees and we can see some good things, some good tidings coming because everything's going to be great again. And, when you have somebody like a Gary Gensler that is artificially trying to oppress and suppress progress, it's going to come around because you can't keep that up forever. You just cannot keep it up. Just like Fauci. Fauci is another one. So you put them and you look at all the bad things they did against the people upholding the will of the administration. The other thing, Chip, that Gary Gensler did that was really poor was implementing DEI into the SEC to impact companies. Now, when we see the current administration, when we see Elon Musk and Ramaswamy and RFK and all those that are going to come in and slash government spending, save our tax dollars, put more money in your pocket, look out for the people, completely different objective. You're muted.
Sorry, big good morning from Alex. Here we go. Kamala truly won the election. We know it. Ha 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 ha. Good morning. What's going on? Gary Gensler is going to chair for another 4 years. Yeah.
Yeah,
He's a legend in his own mind. That's for sure. I agree with that.
yeah.
I'm
Nope.
trolling. Of course
We're taking you serious.
Of course you're trolling. Alex, it's been a long time since you've been on the show, man.
been-
He's guest
been
hosted
forever.
here.
It's been like
Been a
10
long
years.
time, man. Been a long time. So, Jeff, I was in Atlanta, so I went to the premiere of what's now titled something rigged, but it was XRP Unleashed. And I ran into Brad Kimes, and we had a conversation. I'm still blocked, but at least we had a nice conversation. And so at least
Is that what you call it?
I guess, yeah, we had a conversation, and it was a little bit of a, I guess a cryptic way. I cryptically know why I'm blocked, and but I did run into DAI. We had what a gentleman and a scholar. We just had a great conversation. Talked a little bit about Trump. Talked about the election. I went up to him like, "Hey, DAI, how you doing?" He goes, "Hey, Chip, how you doing?" And he goes, "Where's Jeff?" And I'm like, I don't know. I guess he's home. We do a podcast together, but we're not a married couple. I mean, I don't know. I guess he's at home. I don't know where he is. He goes, okay. He laughed a little bit, but we chatted for about 10 minutes. It was a fun little conversation, and I didn't even bring up the fact that I was blocked. And at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. If you're blocked, you can still see the content. Anyway, you just can't comment on it, so you can at least see it, but you can't comment. I'm like, whatever. I'm not going to get caught up in that.
Alchemist Kimes flooded BTC all the way up to 65,000. Then he capitulated and bought some instead.
No.
It's possible, man. The problem, there were a lot of people within the XRP community that were flooding Bitcoin for a long time. It became very polarized, right? You had the Bitcoin maxis, then you had a lot of people within the XRP community, XRP maxis, that kept going after Bitcoin, because of slow usage, expensive move, to move, all the reasons, but they didn't see the true value in what Bitcoin represents, and that Bitcoin still, regardless how you look at it, pulls the entire market. Yeah. And you need something heavy. You need gold. You need value. And there's nothing wrong with referring to Bitcoin as the gold of the industry.
Yeah. You know who else I saw was up there is I got to finally meet Rob Cunningham in person. And I got to meet a longtime OG of On the Chain. I got to meet Crypt OG, and that was awesome. Nice.
That's very
so we got
cool.
to meet. I was hoping he would be on here this morning, and I would say, because I would never dox him. I'd get a photo with him, but I would never dox him. I would need his permission to show it. But if he so said, if he said, no, I want to be anonymous, I'm cool with that too. But it was cool. We had a conversation on the phone, and then we met up. It was really cool. And who else did I meet up there? Molly was there. I'm trying to think. There's a bunch of people that were actually in the film. I would say that the film is a good recount. John Deaton's segment in that film, I felt like I was watching, like, they have the photos up there with all the strings drawn between them, and it was dark and everything. And Deaton was kind of giving a play-by-play and talking about Sullivan and Cromwell and Jay Clayton. And it was that part. I could have just seen the whole movie of that, because that was good. And I also saw Jimmy Valley, and Jimmy was like, they were all sitting there. I met the infamous Mel Carmine. Mel and I talk all the time, and it was so cool to meet Mel in person. Mel's going to be coming back on the show. I don't know, maybe this coming week, but we had a great conversation. Also, Ben Armstrong, better known as BitBoy, was there. BitBoy was there. Had a little chat. Didn't get a photo or anything. Yeah, I did meet BitBoy. Was pretty low key though, man. He was actually pretty low key and very cool. At the end of the movie, he went up to the front, and he talked a little bit. He was actually pretty funny. They said, BitBoy, any price predictions? He goes, 589 to the moon. So that was pretty funny. And but it was really well done. And I would say that the best segment for me, and just like, this is just my opinion, and other people might disagree, I thought Deaton's was phenomenal, and I thought Jimmy Valley did a really good job too. When I saw Jimmy, I'm like, Jimmy, what's the price prediction? Are we up to 1.2 trillion? And then Rob Cunningham turns to me, he goes, come on, Chip, that's way too low for XRP. So we had a good laugh at that, but it was cool to see Jimmy in person too. And
have they bought it back yet?
What's that?
Did you ask him when they're buying it back?
No. He did. He goes, you did see that 18 of the GOP governors are suing the SEC, right? And I said, yeah. And I also saw the statement where Trump said, a lot of investors were hurt by the SEC. He's like, exactly, minus the fees. And there you go. There's your buyback. And I'm like, okay. I was like, whatever. Hey, man, this is what makes the world go round. Everybody has a different opinion on it, but he's a cool dude. He did a great job in the film itself. I thought he had some of that. He stole the show on some of the parts, and like the candid interviews. Jimmy Valley,
Yep.
you know, and
He's-
also
He's
Kimes-
good overall. I mean, I think he presents
Kimes was
extremely
good.
well. That's why.
And DAI I thought was really good in the movie, where he painted a good picture. It was a really good retelling with a lot of clips from. It was just the story, and you know, Stephen Naroff was in there as well, and Stephen was great in it too. I forgot to say that his bit I thought was good. He wasn't in it enough, but I thought what he did have was really fantastic. I really feel like his bit was good. He did a really like I could have taken more of Stephen too, because I think that him being screwed over for 4 years and them trying to take him down, like I almost felt like we needed to hear more of that story. DAI shared a funny story at the end. He said, you know, I was putting my 3-year-old in the back and something happened. I got really emotional. And he goes, I kind of cried like a little girl. And he said the guy that made the film, the couple that put the film together from Fruition Films, great people, had a conversation with them. They're just really, you know, really good natured, right? They really wanted to do the best with this film. And it was funny because he said, thank you so much. Thank you for not showing that in the movie. I was a little bit nervous about seeing it. He goes, but you could have put that up there, but you didn't. And there's other bits you cut out. So you really did a good job of piecing it together. The one dude, who's that guy from the UK that he wasn't in there that much. I kind of thought he would be in there more. And Molly too. I kind of thought I'd see more of her. But there was a lot of Kimes and DAI and I thought everybody did a pretty solid job of telling the story. And it's the story we told here. It's the story about the SEC. It's the story about they did get into ETHgate. That's what Deaton's segment was on. But overall, pretty good.
It's a good summary for people that are not in the know. Which is
I'd recommend watching it.
We'll wait for it to come to TV.
Well, there was some rumor it was going to get on Netflix, so that would be a really cool thing to see. It's well done. I thought sometimes the music was a little bit. It could have just been the theater, but sometimes it was stepping on the voices when people were trying to talk. The music was a little on the loud side.
They probably just didn't tune it right.
Yeah, it could have been something like that with the theater. You know, the theater
challenge. Yeah.
Yeah, because I feel like if you'd have watched it like on maybe a regular TV, it wouldn't have been. It just was super loud in there, but cool theater. Good people, met a lot of great people, and a couple people came up to me and said, hey Chip, and I don't know who they were. They introduced themselves like, hey, how you doing? I was like, okay, nice to see you.
Always very cool.
And I also met DAI's father and his stepdad too. They were there. Brad Kimes dropped a couple F-bombs, and then DA goes, well, that's my mom over there, and that's my sister. And I told you I was kind of and they were like, did it come to see in the movie? I kind of told you that I knew something about crypto, and then Brad Kimes goes, I am so sorry. If I knew your mom, your stepdad, and your sister, and your family was out there, I wouldn't have dropped F-bombs. I'm sorry. That's
all right. So, Davey, what's up with OTC Rumble? Well, ever since our software platform here, StreamYard, decided to up the prices,
double the price,
and double the price, and then change what was available at the current level, which was the max level. Now they doubled everything. So now the level we're at is now the level where we used to be able to stream to any platform. Now we're limited to only 3. So we've chosen obviously YouTube, and then we want to be on our OTC X, but now we're just on my X, Chips X, and that's it. We're limited. So we're looking at some other options, you know.
Well, given the fact that we're just, you know, it's been a down market, given the chat.
Yep.
I mean, Jeff and I have sort of an agreement. Like, we enjoy doing the show, but we don't want to come out of pocket for it, right? We're not going to pay to be here. We will, you know, it's got to sort of sustain itself. All its software, all the other software we use in conjunction, all the podcasting stuff we use, we don't want to come out of pocket for. If we come out of pocket, I'm not interested in doing anymore. Let's put it that way, right? And when you have a down market, you don't have as many people watching. There's no ad revenue. There's no revenue, period. And then, you know, we're not going to, you know, you got to make some decisions. We can't just all of a sudden pay double overnight because they decided to be greedy. And so we're looking at other potential platforms. And
there's some other better platforms out there, so we're testing them out. But meanwhile, Chip, what did you think about? And we obviously, love all of our community and everyone that's followed us for the past four plus years. It's been an amazing ride, and we obviously want to keep that going, especially with the market the way it's going now. We think there's some great tides ahead. But Chip, before we move on to crypto and everything else, what did you think of the Tyson Jake Paul fight last night? It went the distance.
Yeah, I was a little bit shocked. I was a little bit surprised that Tyson sort of petered out a little bit. I actually thought he was trying to tire him out a little bit. He would kind of come
Mhm.
back. But
Yeah.
then like part of me started saying, like, was this the way it was supposed to go? Because I felt at times that Tyson wasn't giving his all. I felt like he was stepping back. He kind of got off a little bit. I don't know. Something felt off to me.
Mhm.
When I was watching him, kind of like, well, letting Paul throw all those punches. But I couldn't tell if he was really genuinely tired, if this was sort of the agreement, like we're going to go the distance and it's just going to, I don't know. It just started, I didn't go into it thinking that, but then when I came out of it, I kind of thought that something just seems off. I don't know what it is, but Tyson seemed, for all the training he does and the amount of hours he spends training and throwing punches and being in the ring sparring, something seemed off about it. It felt weird that he
Yeah.
tired out that soon. I get that age is a thing, but that dude is in peak physical condition. He's
Yeah.
a 50-year-old man. I get it, but but still,
You know,
yeah. I mean, listen, I didn't say that. I'm just saying that it sets it up for a rematch where I don't know.
I,
Who knows?
I
I don't
don't.
know.
Yeah, I don't know if they'll do a rematch. The whole thing. I believe was also to help boost Jake Paul into a specific,
Or fought anybody.
category. It was more of an exhibition, match. I mean, it was fun, to watch. I think, Tyson came out strong first two rounds, and then again, like you said, he immediately just lost energy. There was obviously a problem with his knee. He had a knee brace on, and that definitely had some. You could see he was a little off balance as a direct result of it.
Mm-hmm.
But you could tell he hit some really nice, hits, on Jake Paul. But then Tyson got a couple hits too. So yeah, I don't know. Once you got past like the third, fourth, you knew it was going to go to the distance. But
Yeah, but
he
also I
also
would have
just
liked
didn't
to go
seem like he had
15
the full.
because
Yeah, if they went the
because the
full,
thing is, yeah, if it was, the
they
problem
could
is
have.
like it was just punches. Like he was landing punches, but also he had the reach. He had the reach. I
Right.
saw that Tyson was struggling with that. He's a little bit taller than Tyson, and
Yep.
the reach. But is he a
Wasn't as
fighter?
fast.
No, he's fought nobody. Listen, put him in a ring with a real fighter. There's a couple real fighters out there that would destroy him. Okay, he's just like you said, pumping himself up. I saw Babylon B where it said that he's now challenging. He's now going to fight Muhammad Ali's um, exhumed body or something like that. Something like that. And it said he's also challenged Jimmy Carter, who's 100 years old now. So
They both walked away with a nice purse.
right,
Right.
that's the whole thing.
Jake Paul got 40, Tyson got 20. Yeah, I think they hooked it up. But WF also has a good point there. I mean, but I don't know. You put him up against an amateur, but you could tell he didn't have the typical speed that he had before. He used to have a lot more speed, a
Yeah,
lot more power per punch, and his punches just didn't seem to have the kind of impact that they used to have. But he also lost. If you think about his early years when he was 20, then he had all those issues, was in jail for a little bit, came out, and he had already lost his power at that point. He wasn't the same fighter, and so, but then he had multiple fights since then.
But even
And
Evander
it was
Holyfield
still
thought he
very
would
cool.
he would kick his ass, and even
Mhm.
and who else was up there? Lewis was there too, and he was like,
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
they both fought him. They know they just felt like he was
right.
trained and stuff. So something felt
Yeah,
off.
something was
This
off.
is Tyson's pre-match interview with that kid reporter was awesome. I don't know if you saw that, but that
Yeah,
kid wasn't
yeah,
expecting that at all. That was pretty
yeah.
funny.
That was that was very funny. That was very nice.
Yeah, but again, and the best part of it was, I
And
mean, the
that
worst
too. He had
was
nothing. Yeah.
it kept buffering. It's just the stream kept like letting out. I had to
Yep.
go out, come back in, go out, come back in. That was
Yep.
frustrating. A lot of people were pissed about Netflix, but just goes to show you the amount of audience. I mean, the audience that I would love to see the numbers on that, but Jeff, let's jump into it. Let's not talk so much. We got a whole much stuff to get
We
through.
can talk about this forever.
Yeah, I want to talk about Brad Garlinghouse. He was actually on with Liz Clayman on Fox Business. Got that clip right here. But let's watch this. This is interesting. What he says right here. Let's go. Here it is.
Industry under a Trump presidency. The blockchain payments company Ripple, which uses XRP to enable transactions, jumped dramatically since election night. And it saw big surges.
Did you hear that, Jeff? Jumped dramatically since election night.
Yep. I wonder what the cause of that is.
Let's see. Look at that. XRP actually makes the screen right under Litecoin. It's always Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin. Always. Why? No.
Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin. And in the early years, it was Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, XRP. It was always those four. Always those four.
It was 87 cents when this goes to show you. It's
earlier this week on speculation that its CEO held a meeting with the president-elect following his victory, and speculation that anti-crypto SEC chief Gary Gensler might soon announce his resignation, which we just talked about with former SEC director Norm Champ. Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse is here in a Fox Business exclusive in studio to discuss all of this. Okay, a 70% gain since Election Day. Let me guess, you are a Donald Trump fan, at least, of a presidency as he oversees a crypto world that he's very open-armed to.
For sure. Like, what a difference 10 days makes. We, for years,
he was MAGA.
in the United States, have had an attack on the crypto industry. It's been war. And we finally, I think, have a crypto president. The crypto industry has embraced Trump. Trump has embraced the crypto industry.
He really has.
I think it's very genuine. And I think he sees the opportunity. He sees innovation. He sees entrepreneurship. And look, I'm very excited about what the future holds. I'll point out, have you
ever seen Brad so excited? Can I just stop and say that right now? He's like he can't get the words out fast enough, and how super excited he is. They got to hang out with Trump and have this meeting, because
he knows what's coming. He knows the whole market is shifting. He knows. I mean, it's like a weight was lifted, right? This whole weight and all the BS, all the fringe elements that became general public, like common, just common everyday nonsense, all the DEI nonsense, all the pronoun nonsense, like all of that is gone. Like that whole weight. It's like, what was going on with all that? Even AOC removed her pronouns off of her stuff. It's like, and some of the things that she was saying, but we got to get rid of all that. It's like, well, why was that even there? Like there was just too much fringe that became kind of norm, and so when the weight gets lifted, man, everybody's responding across the board. And you could tell a weight was lifted off his shoulders. Obviously, it was directly impacting, his business and everything else. But there's a lot to it. There's just so much to, where we're at here.
Yeah.
Did you put that all won the fight?
Yeah.
Okay.
I put it in there.
Oh, who won the fight?
Yeah, somebody asked who won it. Yeah.
I was like, weren't we just talking about that?
We're saying that XRP is up 70+%. Since Election Day, the best performing crypto assets are all U.S. companies or U.S. technologies. This shouldn't be a surprise. The United States SEC has been manipulating and putting pressure on these U.S. companies, U.S. technologies, and now that pressure comes off and they explode upwards. So we shouldn't be surprised by that.
So that is since when that it's all U.S.?
Really, since Election Day.
Okay, since Election Day.
How do you like that, Chip? How great is that?
It's fantastic. It really is. Chris Larson's got his head buried somewhere, he's crying over his $5 million. Meanwhile, he's probably going to donate more because they're 20 or 30 million in the hole because they ran their campaign like they run the government. So that's just kind of how it,
Maybe the buyback starts
that really
now.
makes sense.
It does. And if you can even put a number on this, like what has Gary Gensler's war on crypto, you can put an amount on it. We went from 2.2 trillion to basically 3 trillion. So this was an $800 billion unlock just because we now are going to have rational actors who act lawfully. As you know well, states have now even participated in suing the SEC and saying you are not acting lawfully and enforcing the laws.
I got to ask you, the price of XRP earlier this week spasmed. It jumped about 10% after you liked a tweet earlier that suggested you may have met with President-elect Donald Trump. Any truth to those rumors?
I mean, I think like many of your guests today, I'm not going to comment on too many specifics here. Suffice it to say.
Okay, that's a yes. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But I respect that. But to me, it's a yes.
We have been active throughout this election cycle in being very pro-crypto, pro-innovation. And how do we make sure that this Congress and, the president, obviously, it's a totally new day. And I could not be happier about like a Congress that I think is, as Norm said earlier, your guest, we got to get away from regulation through enforcement. That makes no sense.
What about this yesterday, this lawsuit filed by 18 attorneys generals, I believe all from...
Wait a minute, Liz. Let me just qualify that statement. 18 Republican
She's saying that right now.
Generals.
Yeah, she's about to say that.
You
Rewind
forgot that part.
No, rewind it.
Jeff, you don't understand. Jeff, you don't understand. They're going to pivot. I'm telling you. I got a guy arguing with me, Julian from Wales, always argues with me every single day on X, and he's telling me that she would have pivoted. I'm like, she could have publicly called the presentation. I go, she was on the View, and she was on Stephen Colbert, and they asked her, "Are you going to do anything different?" She's like,
"Nope,
I can think of."
Yep. There was no pivot. There was zero pivot. We were right about that.
There's going to be a pivot. And meanwhile,
there's so many people that are wrong on this across the board. They just don't understand how to analyze, what's happening. It's not that they don't know how, but a lot of people just don't look at all of the different moving pieces. They just get hyper polarized onto one moving piece, and they're not looking at the whole equation. You got to look at every aspect. That's why the politics of it are so critical. If you don't analyze the politics of an event, then you're going to miss the boat of it, and you have to look at the whole picture. And that's why we said there's zero pivot. There can't be a pivot. It's similar to why there can never be a settlement. Gary Gensler, with the head of the SEC, would never settle. Never. There was no settlement. On the lawsuit, they were so far apart from each other, they could never come together and find common ground. And that was the whole point, is that when you look and there can't be a settlement. Chip, how many people said there was going to be a settlement? Oh, there's going to be a settlement. Oh, the settlement's next week. Oh, the settlement's in 2 weeks. And we're like, it's impossible. There won't be a settlement. Look at it correctly. You can tell there won't be a settlement. We know there won't be a settlement. And, if you're thinking there was a settlement, it's because that's just your, opinion, because you're not looking at all the facts properly, and that's all there is to it. It's because that's what you want. You can't will something into existence, and it's the same thing with this. It's like, I felt very confident in the people that we were going to go the right way. And, Trump had to win, because without a victory, if he didn't win, that's the end of the war. That's the end. That's the end of freedoms across the board. Look at what Australia is doing with social media. They're forbidding kids under 16 to access social media, for good or bad. I'm not saying it's good for them all to be, influenced by the poison that comes on TikTok and, and others, and the stuff that they block, and the fake messaging that they push, the narratives, because we saw that influences not just kids, but adults. So you're going to tell me that maybe adults should be blocked from social media too, but you can't do that in a free society. So if they're doing crazy things on Australia, it's not too far away. We saw the crazy stuff they did in this country. Well, and that had to change in England too. We're seeing countries in complete meltdown, and it had to change. There just wasn't, the path that most people on the street, want freedom. And we saw it on our show across the world. Everybody shares the same passion. They want that freedom. Now we're getting a lot more than what we anticipated, which is, I think, even better. Like what Trump is able to accomplish in just a week. We're seeing a major shift in the economy. We're seeing major shifts across the board. The people that he's appointing to these positions, it's phenomenal. Now we're going to see if the Senate and the Congress are going to be willing, to back the agenda that has to happen. It's not, it's just, and so, it's good. Chip, this is just a weight lifted. People across the board. It's a referendum on a global scale.
Look at this, man. Check this out. So this is history right here. You are never again going to see Alchemist posting an XRP price. I'm just saying. Bitcoin,
but that's because what it's at right now.
No, but it's at 111 now. Look at this. So
that was fast.
I found this post to be interesting.
Let's get at 107.
Brad Garlinghouse said markets have responded.
109.
Look, markets have responded to Trump's win. He's bringing crypto back to America, making crypto great again. MCGA, the incoming Congress will make sure U.S. innovation gets regulatory clarity. And they know this lawsuit's going away. I mean, they'll never get to it. It'll come around on 26. It's going to be put it's going to be knocked out. It's done. It's phenomenal. I thought that was great.
A Congress that I think is, as Norm said earlier, your guest, we got to get away from regulation through enforcement. That makes no sense.
What about this yesterday, this lawsuit filed by 18 attorneys generals, I believe all from Republican states, suing the SEC, saying that they are allegedly overreaching when it comes to crypto regulation. Did you know that was coming at all?
We did not, and I say to all 18 of those attorney generals, welcome to the party. You know, look, we have been fighting, Ripple's been fighting this fight since the very beginning. We've spent literally over $150 million fighting the SEC, an unlawful war. And so I'm thrilled they're joined. I wish they would have joined earlier. But, you know, even in their case, what they filed cites the Ripple case over and over. And so they see what has happened. They see how Gensler has overreached. And I only wish there was a way to hold the SEC, hold Gensler, hold some of these people accountable.
And we should say that earlier this week, Robinhood relisted XRP on its platform, driven by what they believe might be this new, more welcoming regulatory environment?
For sure. I mean, this goes back to like the U.S. has finally unlocking this hostility. And I do think things like Robinhood saying, you know, I'm surprised they didn't do it sooner, but I'm glad they did it now. And, you know, I expect
Robinhood, by the way, up 37% this month alone. Nice move for Robinhood. And Vlad the CEO, has sat here and said that crypto has been a huge driver for their bottom line.
I mean, he said that it actually is an order of magnitude, a 10x decrease in cost in order for him to trade.
Brad, thanks for stopping by.
It's
great
really
to see you, Brad.
Yeah, very good. Good appearance.
He's coming on the show. Brad is coming on this show. We're going to get Brad. We can't get any of the other, you know, lefty clowns, but Brad can come on the show. You know, it'd be amazing. Why wouldn't he?
Let's reach back out to the PR over there, and let's see if we can we'll give him some questions we want to talk to him about, you know, and then if they don't want to talk about it, but let's get him on the show, dude.
He needs to come on the show.
Maga
all the way.
Let's go. I showed him Maga. He's like, he was confronted. Hey,
what was that?
What?
What was that? Oh, you can't hear it. It's over. I forgot. That's funny. I had this going. I hear explosions in the background. Like, what the hell are those explosions? I forgot I had this going. Check this out, man. Look at this order book right here. Look at the orders. Look at the trades. We've never seen it this fast on XRP. Look at this. Look at it just flow. It's crazy. Just crazy. That's just XRP flow right now.
Type in Yeti. We're giving another one away. So over the course, find you again. So type in.
Show you guys.
TIYETI. Yeti. Type it in. We will go ahead.
Spirit Walker.
Look at this. I want to show you this. This is amazing. Like, I don't even care what he's talking about here. I joined official Cantor's annual Cantor. Who cares? Let's just focus on his shirt. Okay. What does that say? That's a bearable bull shirt right there that says F the SEC.
Dude,
okay.
Gotta love it.
So this is a CEO of a prominent, you know, US based crypto company, leverages blockchain, private company, F the SEC. I'm telling you, man, right there alone is why Brad gets props. He gives 0 Fs right there. 0. Thought that was incredibly cool. Eleanor, here's the story right here. 18 states filed to see the SEC and its commissioners, accusing them of unconstitutional overreach, unfair persecution of the crypto industry under the leadership of agency chief Gary Gensler. And also, I think this is going to put more pressure on Gensler to sort of like exit. The lawsuit signed by 18 Republican attorney generals details on how the agencies committed the gross government overreach with this regulation by enforcement crusade against the $3 trillion industry, resulting in infringement upon states' rights to regulate their economies. Jeff, that right there, that wording right there, resulting in infringement upon states' rights. So because they're attorney generals of their states, they can come in as a state and say, you have totally, you know, infringed upon our right as we would regulate the economy, and crypto's a big part of it. So, I mean, there's so much winning. Trump said we get sick of winning. He's not even president yet. What do we see? Hamas comes
Winning.
out early. They're like waving the white flag. You got Putin over there saying he wants to come to a resolution. This is all in 10, 15, 12 days of the election. This is insane. This is insane good.
It's because
Meanwhile,
what's right is right. You know, we're on the right side of history. We've said, Chip, you and I are on the right side of history. Too many people are on the wrong side of history across the board, man. And that's why I look at our show numbers and the people that watch us. We should have, 20 times at least the number of people that are watching us. Instead, they like going and watching the FUD FOMO, fanboys. Because maybe it makes them feel good, or maybe they just like getting information that's not accurate, and yet these guys, these inaccurate guys, somehow YouTube loves them too. YouTube loves pushing, FOMO. I mean, that's the whole thing with YouTube, and then with us, man, we play one clip and they're like, oh no, that's you can't monetize anymore on the YouTube stuff. Because we're going to give the monetization to whatever clip we play. We could play a 20-second clip. Boom, they get the monetization for the entire show, or the last show, shared monetization. But yeah, you got all these FOMO guys out there that are, sitting on the floor. They're talking nonsense. They're talking about, nonstop $589,000 price overnight. And it's not, I don't know, 10 years from now, who knows where the crypto market's going to be? Bitcoin could be at $1 million, at some point, but it's not going to happen overnight. It's not like what, I mean, we're talking about, a year ago, 2 years ago, 6 months ago. They're like next week. And yet YouTube loves that. It's just, I don't know how I got on that.
I don't know either, but we'll get it right now. Stuart Alderati, Gary Gensler's
this is awesome.
To the SEC runs deep. His legacy of undermining American innovation and failing to uphold the law is shameful. With 18 states suing to hold him accountable, I look forward to him soon becoming an unfortunate footnote in SEC history. That's how you got on the history thing, Jeff. He's going to become.
Right. That's what it was.
That's how you get on the history thing. It's all you were all lead up to Stu Alderati's post. And he was just commenting on Nebraska Attorney General Mike Hilgers, every Attorney General posted this. But this is great because this is more pressure. There's no more effing around, okay? And there's such a down and the on the left. And here's this.
That's the badass Yeti you're going to win. Type in Yeti, and that's the badass Yeti you're going to win. That is a spirit walker from the Blue Tribe. Get that going. We got lots of these to give away. So,
oh man, let's
blues. We got white today. We're giving away 2, so it's going to be loads of fun. Keep it going. We got.
So, Ellie Terra put this out. Fox Business learned that some Republican members of the Financial Services Committee, led by Rep. John Rose, sent a letter today to the SEC Chair Gary Gensler and FINRA President / CEO Robert Cook, expressing concern over the continued silence regarding Prometheum's May launch of custody services for Ethereum as a so-called crypto asset security. The letter states that the agency's silence on this matter, that they are complicit in creating market confusion and uncertainty, given that the SEC has already acknowledged that ETH is not a security, and the term crypto asset security does not apply to the token itself, but rather the manner in which its players in the digital asset space deserve certainty from the regulators' rights. Yet under, I almost thought that said Yeti. No, Yeti under, no, yet under.
I did too. That's what I was looking at. I was like, why does that say Yeti? Why is he talking about badass Yetis?
Under Chair Gensler, they've only received chaos and confusion. I hope that while Chair Gensler is cleaning out his office, he can heed our concerns seriously and maybe deliver some real guidance on his way out the door. He's never going to deliver guidance. He has no guidance. He's just an empty suit. The best part of this whole thing, Jeff, is he thought he was going to be Treasury Secretary. He thought Harris was going to win and he was going to become Treasury Secretary. And instead, he's become the unfortunate footnote in SEC history, as Stu put it. Now, what is
going to be a footnote like the rest of them? They're just nothing. You know what they're going to be in history? Who undermined the greatness of this country? Who within these 3-letter agencies disrupted the flow of the free market and disrupted our constitutional republic? Who did things that were unconstitutional? Because we have a major shift in the country, and the history books have to reflect exactly what they did. Who tried to single-handedly disrupt the economic flow and the growth and innovation in this country. Right.
Yeah.
Obviously, the administration, Gary Gensler, that's his footnote in history. That's what he's going to be known for, who almost single-handedly shut down this entire country and forced people to inject who knows what into their body. Oh, yeah, Fauci. And he's going to go down in history for that corruptive stance, and he's got to be held accountable. Gary Gensler has to be held accountable. We're going to see a slashing coming up in the next administration coming up now. Elon Musk, Vivek Ramaswamy are going to take the fat in government, bring it down to nothing. RFK, he's as Health and Human Services, the impact that it'll have on the FDA and to remove the corruption and these legacy pharmaceutical industry, stranglehold on the industry and big food and all of that. And then that directly goes back to impact somebody like a Fauci, because he has to be held accountable for the stuff they forced people to inject in their bodies, and people that were removed out of military service because of it, people that lost their jobs because of it. There has to be an accountability, and that's the footnote. That's what they're going to be known for in history, and that's what we're going to see over the next year to 2 years is accountability. They have to be held accountable for what they did in this country, and it wasn't just this country, because they impacted the whole world, and that's what we're right on. Again, this victory is massive. This impacts everybody. Everybody should be happy and satisfied. There shouldn't be any leftists out there that aren't happy anymore, because it's gonna benefit them in an immense way. And come on, let's go. Let us go. It's gonna be great. Great, Chip.
Oh, I was trying to find while you were talking there. I was trying to find something, but it was a post that Elon Musk had put out there, and his pronouns are prosecute Fauci.
Mm-hmm. Chip, so I look at this also, right? I look at Ethereum, where Ethereum is today, how it got adopted so quickly. XRP did have, is heavily reliant on centralized partnerships, and I think that was a big issue. We didn't see a lot of development in decentralized blockchain, for XRP in the beginning stage, whereas ETH, the reason why it grew so fast is because that was the whole focus.
Oh, yeah.
That was the whole focus. They allowed builders to build, and people gravitated to it. There wasn't another platform. First mover advantage, not because it was good, but just because of first mover advantage. What's that?
This I had with Brad Kimes when I said, listen, was it the builders conversation? You were like, Ripple. I'm like, no, Ripple alone is not going to build the XRP price. Okay, it's the builders. And you saw what happened. All the builders went to Ethereum. They all started building. They started making applications, making all kinds of stuff. And nobody was coming over to XRPL. They had the foundation over there, right? There was encouragement to be to actually do something. So, and what is that? What is being pro-Trump get? It gets you a seat at the table. I've been saying this for a while. And who has that seat? Well, none other than our good pal, Charles Hoskinson. Okay, look at this. SpaceX is sending a satellite powered by H-bar to space this January after NASA research paper on Hedera. Okay, they didn't do a research paper on XRP or the XRP ledger. No. So after Hedera's partner in the DREC Alliance, Cardano founder, Charles Hoskinson visited Elon Musk's SpaceX headquarters in Hawthorne yesterday, announced on a Swiss national television today that Whiskey and SpaceX are sending H-bar to space in January. A satellite powered by Hedera will facilitate transactions of cryptocurrency in space. Whoa, wait a minute. Transactions in space should be XRP. Well, this is what Chris Larson gets you, a big zero. When you're a leftist nut job, and you only want to hang out with leftists, and you're sure that they're going to pivot, but there's zero in their platform. There's zero indication that I didn't see Harris as the sitting VP call for Gary Gensler. Can you imagine if she came out and said, we have to have pro-crypto in this country. I call for Gary Gensler's resignation right here, right now. Can you imagine the favor that would have won her? No. Can you imagine if she had put the word crypto at least one time in her official platform? No. She's full of crap. The Americans saw through it, and that's why it was a total rout. House, Senate, presidency, rout, and the popular vote. When Trump won in 2016, it turns out that he did not win the popular vote, And Clinton won the popular vote by 4 million votes. He won it all. Why? Because of your extreme gaslighting
Corruption.
and the border was safe and this and that and all this other garbage. So this got you a seat at the table, Jeff. Am I wrong? I mean,
Yep. Yeah, I mean, and you bring up a good point. In 16, he could have won the popular vote, but they pushed so many false messages, across the board. He obviously crushed with the Electoral College, but they also were pushing fake narratives with Russia hoaxes and all sorts of other things, and that just kept building and growing over the 4 years in between. I mean, people are seeing through the BS. We're finally at that point. Things are looking up. There's so many amazing things ahead of us right now. Such a major shift in direction, because it's the will of the people, and when the will of the people speak up, it's very significant. People stay, for the most part, especially in this country. Most people are relatively apolitical, right? And I've said this for years. I grew up overseas for a good part of my life, and I saw how people, were, and it was drastically different when I first came back to the country. I saw it firsthand, and I could tell, like, here I am, having certain experiences, and then I see how, the kids are here, and going into college, just people were just apolitical. Going into the workspace, people were apolitical. They just didn't get it. But the reason why they didn't get it is because most people just want to live their daily lives. They want to go to work. They want to make money. They want to come home. They want to watch Sunday night football. They want to go to, sporting events. They want to watch boxing matches. They just want to live day to day. They don't want to worry about everything else. And they don't go out to vote, right? Because they're like, oh, for years, well, my vote doesn't count. It doesn't have an impact. They didn't understand. Why didn't they understand? Because it wasn't taught in schools either. Even though in government, they would maybe teach Constitution, but they removed the fact that your vote can actually have an impact on local elections, community, your local town, your local city, your local county, your state. You can have a major impact, which then also reverberates. Most people they didn't have time for it. They're like, hey, stuff is going to go along to get along. It happened for so long, that apoliticalness. But now, when the will of the people has been influenced detrimentally to where you no longer have the freedom. And I'll tell you what, the whole thing with COVID and the false narratives and the misinformation and the obvious, fake narratives that are pushed through media as a talking point and propaganda machine for a certain political party. People woke up to it and they realized their will is being crushed. And that, when you get the voice to the will of the people speaking up, that's a drastic change. People want what's good for them and their families, and it's resolute, So look at this stuff you have pulling up here. It's awesome. Type in Yeti. Everybody got to type in Yeti. We need more people, and then we're going to do a drawing for this beautiful Spirit Walker. This is an awesome thing. You guys got to participate in the NFTs. Why? This is on XRP.cafe, guys. This is actual development in the works right here, right? The NFT space was dominated and is dominated by Ethereum. XRP.cafe is all about the XRPL. And that's a beautiful NFT that Chip and I, made. And we have a whole bunch of them. We have a whole series.
Put some work into that. There's a lot of thought behind it.
Yeah.
Stuff. We'll make a nice game.
Blue Tribe.
This is up. You can imagine games coming out.
Chip, we can do that. It's amazing what we're going to be able to do now. Things are going to without going to jail. Like all these other losing everything.
And too, we can actually do. Oh my God, they'll not have to worry about going to jail. This is over in England. This is MP Stephen Pineless. This is fun, Jeff. You're going to enjoy this. This is good.
Minister, Donald Trump is president-elect once again. What are your thoughts on his emphatic win?
Well, look, obviously, I congratulate Donald Trump on his victory, and I look forward to working with his administration over the next 4 years.
You've got some bridges to build with him, though, haven't you? Given that in January 2017, you said, Donald Trump is a neo-Nazi and a disgusting sexual predator. God help the United States.
The Prime Minister and I have already had several meetings with President Trump in order to maintain a healthy relationship that benefits both countries, and I think that's what's important right now. When you met the President, did he mention this tweet you wrote back in March 2017 when you said, "How can anyone spend time with Donald Trump and not come to the conclusion that he's an unscrupulous, egotistical, misogynistic fascist? God, I hate him." What I'm focused on is making sure that our strong working relationship with the United States continues under President Trump and his team. Even though you said this in July 2017, Donald Trump is contemptible, vile and odious, a tornado of corruption and depravity in a flappy blue suit. He makes me sick. Donald Trump is a man who speaks as he finds, but I think that it's important that we find some common ground in the national interest, and that's what myself and the Prime Minister are focused on doing in the coming months. So presumably you no longer think what you tweeted in December 2017 when you said, "Anyone who tries to forge working relationships with Trump is an unprincipled, morally bankrupt charlatan who should be treated with contempt and total disdain. I don't care who you are, if you want to work with that fascist monster, you're a piece of shit." The transatlantic relationship is one of the most important relationships that the UK has, and I don't think that bringing up tweets that I posted several years ago should have any bearing on what we're trying to achieve today. Even though you said in January 2018, oh God. Don't ever forget these things I'm saying about Donald Trump. Seriously, if you find me reeling off some spurious bullshit in years to come about looking forward to working with Donald Trump because he's been re-elected, God forbid, then take it as read that I've sold my soul for the sake of my political career and should be kicked in the face for the rest of my life by the people who voted for me. So much has changed in 8 years, and I think that it's incumbent upon us to extend the hand of friendship to President Trump for the sake of national and financial security. Okay, if that's the case, perhaps you should also change your profile photo. Oh, shit.
That is the greatest piece.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
It might be a comedy bit. I mean, I don't know if that's
that was too much. That was funny though.
TV,
that was
but
awesome.
It's funny. I don't even know if Stephen Pineless is a real MP or what, but I just thought. But that right there encapsulates everything. Is he a real? I mean, look. Let me see if he's a real MP. Well, that might not.
We're gonna share the links. If you guys go to let me just post it. It's obviously easy for you guys. Just go to onthechain.io. When you go to onthechain.io, just sign up over on onthechain.io. There's all sorts of ways to help support the show. Let us, keep the lights on, keep streaming, and have all that good stuff.
In the studio, man.
We got to keep the lights on in the studio. Imagine if there were no lights on in the studio. What would we do?
Because there's no incoming. That does not producing any lemons anymore. It's just the same lemons every time.
We need new lemons. We need new lemons. In order to get new lemons, we need some support.
I have a question
for you. So help us keep the lights on. Go to go to onthechain.io, and this is where you're going to find all the links, because when you click podcast, you're going to see, holy cow, look at this. You can see everything over here. And then if you want to make sure that you get reminded, get an email, all you have to do is just go to subscribe. Boom. You can support us. You can go do it for free. We only send you an email after each show. That's it. You'll get an email. And then what's beautiful about it, in the email, you'll get a reminder. So if you miss the show and then you go to this great channel or a great website of ours, you can go in, you can listen to the podcast, go rewatch the show. And the best part, you can go buy Badass Yetis coffee. There's a link for Badass Yetis coffee. Sometimes you get a nice link to go buy an NFT. And to the big question there, where are the links? Well, check it out. Just scroll through here, links of everything that we talked about and more, because sometimes we don't talk about everything. Right. And there's a whole bunch of stuff that we went through to prepare for the show. So that is the secret sauce.
Okay, Jeff, I have a question for you. In this next clip, who's dumber? Joyless Reed. I call her Joyless. Joyless Reed.
Mark Smithson with the support.
Appreciate that.
Look at that.
We have Joyless Reed or AOC. Which one is dumber?
Both.
And we haven't even gotten to Tulsi Gabbard potentially having access to national security information.
Why is it muted?
Sorry, I'm
for volume.
And we haven't even gotten to Tulsi Gabbard potentially having access to national security information. And Russia loves it, loves her.
And I actually think almost more than Matt Gaetz,
they're so stupid.
Tulsi Gabbard's appointment is devastating. And
holy crap.
Tulsi Gabbard's nomination,
But why?
as much as she
God.
says that she's an anti-war person, she's not.
Yeah.
She supports
Really?
very pro-war individuals,
Including in
abroad.
Syria.
And let's be very clear:
Yeah.
a Tulsi Gabbard nomination
They
is
don't
a
even know where Syria is on the
pro-war
map.
nomination
Maybe they should stop talking about
globally.
countries.
Point blank, period.
As is Donald Trump as president of the United States.
So the new narrative is she's a Russian asset. Tulsi Gabbard, who is
So that was
a Russian asset. So they haven't learned their lesson about this whole thing, that people aren't interested in this, but no, they're going to keep going. And here's Eric Adams, mayor of New York City, on The View.
get ready for
And
it.
this didn't go, I don't think, the way the people on The View expected. Watch this.
Let's dismantle the hate. And what you saw in this city, in this election, when you saw a shift and the city becoming, the state becoming redder, is because we stopped talking about working class people issues.
Jeff, what's the over-under on Eric Adams converting to a Republican? After you watch after what I've seen him say, I mean, what's the
Adams, Fetterman. There's a whole list of them that will no longer be welcome in the Democrat Party. They're all going to be independents.
Right. I mean,
You know,
well, they
you look
went
at
after
RFK, Gabbard. There's a whole list of them already.
He was the only one to speak out against the migrants, the illegals that were coming into the city. And what did they do? They went after him with some indictments. And that one Smith dinner where Trump actually did a joke on it. He's like, hey, I knew you were in trouble when you spoke out against that. I knew they're coming after you. And sure enough, there came the indictments.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. By the way, they're propping up AOC as their next Kamala Harris for the next run. They're saying that she's the strongest one to emerge.
Oh
I'm
my
like,
God.
please run this tech bartender nut job. Well, listen to this.
When mom and pops are afraid, I can't pay my college tuition. The rent is too damn high. Healthcare is too expensive. We stop talking to everyday New Yorkers and Americans. When I'm in the street talking to them, they're not asking me, Eric, tell me about fascism. They're talking about finance. They're not talking about Hitler. They're talking about housing. We need to talk to everyday working class people, and we stop doing that. And those are the issues that they are afraid of. They're afraid of the future of their children.
All right. Hang on. We're going to have to do the drawing real quick because Dawn wants to go to bed. Let's do the drawing because Dawn has her name in there. So let's roll. We're going to do the drawing. Everyone get their last chance to get the Yeti in there. And we got to go back and comment on some of that in that video and some others. And then also I want to just point out, the skyrocketedness of XRP sitting at $112. And Chip, just real quick, I don't know about this, but we started streaming about here, so right about here. And since we started streaming, look at the impact. Look at that. Boom. Somebody like 6 cents.
Please someone talk to Cobb and tell him not to stream. Please.
I can't believe there's only 12 entries in here. Come on, guys. That's crazy. You guys don't want a beautiful, but that's all right because it's about to launch.
Count down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, draw. Let's see who it's going to be. Who's it going to be? Who's getting a Yeti? Who is getting a Yeti? Where will it stop? Nobody knows. Mark Smithson. Close.
Oh, come on, guys.
Smithson gets one. Look at the confetti pouring out. This is exceptional. Dun, 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 dun.
All right. Mark, throw in your Zaman wallet address into the chat, and we'll get that badass Yeti. It's a beautiful badass Yeti too, because it's a Spirit Walker. There's your Spirit Walker right there. Get your Zaman address in, and can you give it to Jim D? You can do whatever you want with it, but we got to send it to you.
And then Jim D has to then put his, if he wants to.
Yeah. Jim D is in here. If you want to give it to Jim D, you can give it to Jim D. That's
Charter City, Huntington.
One of you have to put your address in so we can grab it.
So I want to put this on. This is something great. So this is Huntington Beach fighting back against the state of California.
As a charter city, Huntington Beach is entitled to manage its local elections. It's baked into the California Constitution. What news?
Well, what I should preface here is that Huntington Beach required a voter ID. You had to have ID to be able to vote. And so California started coming after them because they passed that unconstitutional law saying you didn't need it. And they're saying we have the right to govern ourselves.
Some just recently did with this new bill is basically say, as you said, that that voter ID is banned. But that's inconsistent with the California Constitution. And the legislature, the California legislature, can't legislate away constitutional rights, or it would render the Constitution meaningless. This new law is in response to Huntington Beach really taking a bold position in March by putting it to the voters and asking the voters, do you want these elections integrity measures put in place in Huntington Beach? And the voters overwhelmingly said yes. That is our constitutional right. As I said, it's in the California Constitution. Not sure how Newsom thinks he can get away with this. If he wants to take the control of local elections away from charter cities, then he really needs to have a constitutional amendment to the California Constitution. He can't just simply pass new legislation.
So what happens now? I mean, they were suing you to prevent you from doing this. They've now passed this law. What happens now?
Right. So in April, the state sued Huntington Beach, claiming that its new ballot measure, which passed, the voter ID requirement, was illegal. Yet then they turned around and created a new law to make it illegal. So the left hand doesn't know what the right hand's doing in Sacramento. We're going to continue to implement our voter ID and elections integrity measures. And I guess we're going to have to deal with Newsom in court on this new law. But I think it's pretty clear, it couldn't be clearer, frankly, that the California Constitution allows us to do this. Now, David Min says you can't have 100 cities doing 100 different things. Well, is he going to tell that to other large cities like Santa Ana that are considering allowing felons to vote, considering allowing non-citizens to vote? I mean, there are cities going out and doing their own thing all over the state of California.
Yeah.
Those two are also charter cities. So we're not allowed to have voter ID, but they're allowed to go out and completely buck the system and allow felons and non-citizens to vote. That seems awfully clear double standard.
Yeah, well, it's a fair question. I want to read a line from the lawsuit filed against you. This voter ID measure conflicts with state law. Not only is it a solution in search of a problem, laws like these are harmful to California voters, especially low-income, the elderly, people of color, those with disabilities.
Solution in search of a problem. That sounds familiar.
And young voters. Quick response to that?
That's a decades-old argument. That doesn't exist. People of color, these people want, all people want voter ID. All people want to be able to show their ID at the polling place.
Absolutely. Well said.
100%. 100%.
Oh, freaking
Oh, there we go. Jim D. Sweet. Jim D. Jim D.
I love this audience. They're always giving away to somebody else. So really fantastic. Sort of how they
you gotta pay it forward. You got to pay it forward. That's awesome.
Look at this, Jeff. This is Matt Gaetz, the new Attorney General, and there's and they're saying that he won't pass the Senate hearing. He doesn't have to, because Trump, under U.S. law, can adjourn both houses, and an adjournment during their recess, he can put through recess appointments, and that's how he's putting all the people through. He's not playing around this time. All those resource appointments going through, he doesn't need the Senate. Goodbye. But watch Matt Gaetz in this clip here. This is beautiful.
DEI improve the returns to your investors?
I think part of good governance of a company is having diverse perspectives brought to bear as they manage that company. And I feel strongly about that for the investment team that I lead. Also, we want diverse perspectives.
And what is the evidence that you rely on for the belief that the DEI agenda will produce better returns? Is there any study, report, analysis?
Right, Jeff?
As an investor, I read research reports constantly. I probably read 5, 6, 8 of them a day. So over the course of my career, that's probably been thousands.
I know. I'm just wondering, is there one that kind of sticks out in your mind? You can say, Congressman, I'm here to do good by these 2.2 million beneficiaries, and my embrace of DEI, this is what I can point to as the evidence that's helping them.
Every data-based study can tell lots of different things, and every data works that way. That's the way investing works. And remember that when we're focused on investing, we're focused on how we...
Mr. Bambi, you can either cite a study or you can't. You can't, right?
Okay. In the thousands of studies that I...
Just name one. Okay, well, here's what. I found a study that actually CalPERS did. You guys did this study. It's entitled Emerging Diverse Manager Data Report. And I'm citing from the 6th page of report where it says, since inception, current diverse managers generally underperformed non-diverse managers in the asset class in the policy benchmark. Are you familiar with this report?
Can I see a copy of that study, please?
See a copy of the study.
Jeff, totally embarrassed. Like these, you know, that's why Matt Gaetz doesn't mess around. You're not going to like him because he's going to basically destroy. Here's Pete Hegseth, who's going to be in charge of the what is it, defense? Is that what it is?
Cat 4 dental. They pulled your tooth because you can't be out in the field with a major, you know, dental emergency, but there's no dentist. And so I deployed with a lot of guys who were like, oh, because they just had a tooth pulled and they had to. Yet we're now allowing people who used to be men or women join. And then after that, we pay for medical or physical transitions to another gender, which by definition makes them non-deployable and non-trainable for your, because they're, and the same thing with asthma medication or inhalers. Like when you're in basic training, you can't have an inhaler when you're doing your exercises because you can't count on having an inhaler in a combat situation. Well, if you're medically dependent on drugs to maintain your gender or a particular balance of chemicals inside your body, you're by definition non-deployable. And so they'd have soldiers who can't train, can't deploy, have been on the books, and yet everyone has to be careful about what pronoun you use with them.
Yeah.
That has nothing to do with how effective a unit's going to be.
Beautifully said. Would you agree with that?
It's awesome. Oh, you got to love that guy. You know, I mean, there's they're posting stuff of Hegseth, you know, over, you know, I believe he was doing a run in New York City, American flag. He made it to ground zero, you know, over at that one building, you know, where the World Trade Center was, and he's got the flag and he's pointing to someone that had fallen, you know, a name, and he's loaded up with tattoos, and that guy's fired up, super patriotic.
Got a huge "We the People" tattoo.
Yep. Yeah.
Freaking awesome.
Yep. Yeah.
And some other tattoos that people are objecting to because of his Christianity, and they're like having a problem with it, of course. But here is the difference between the outgoing health minister and the incoming health minister. Ready for this? But they're worried about Trump's picks. Here we go.
Admiral Rachel Levine, the Assistant Secretary for Health. I stand with the LGBTQI+ community as a proud, openly transgender woman.
Love you, dude.
Guy's in good shape.
70 years old. Look at how ripped he is, dude.
Dude, he's in good shape. He's in great shape. It's awesome.
Here's a guy who has mental illness who thinks he's a woman and doesn't even doesn't even try to look like a woman. This is the best part. Here we go.
My name is Admiral Rachel Levine, and I have the honor of being the Assistant Secretary for Health at the United States Department of Health and Human Services.
For health.
Happy Pride.
What?
Happy Pride Month, and actually, let's declare it a summer of pride.
Yeah.
Happy Summer of Pride. Gender-affirming care is life-saving, medically necessary, age-appropriate, and a critical tool for healthcare providers. As a pediatrician, when it comes to making sure kids are healthy and happy, I know how important care that affirms someone's true identity can be.
That's what happens.
So, let's talk for a moment about the trans health care that our community needs, and transgender medicine and gender-affirming care. I mean, that term is important, although our opponents have weaponized it. So we really want to base our treatment and to affirm and to support.
Out of here.
No, that's a mental health meltdown is what we're seeing. We had 3.5 years of mental health issues. You know what it was? They locked people up in their homes in certain states. These people had an absolute mental health breakdown. These people were fringe. They shouldn't be in normal society like this. It's you can't have this kind of impact and influence. It isn't right. It just isn't how society is meant to be. And then you have someone like that's in charge of health and human services. Come on. First, just look at the fact that the person isn't healthy, and then look at the mental state, right? Mental health state issue and just physical health state issue. You can't put those two. And then and that person did he say he was a pediatrician, and he's a pediatrician to boot? And you go to some of these doctors, right? And they're unhealthy, they're overweight, especially for whatever reason in the pediatrician area. There's doctors that are way out of shape, and you want to have them have any kind of say in the upbringing of your kids. It's Like, first of all, it starts diet and exercise is where it begins. Everything, no sugar, reduce any type of chemical, and then look at the exercise levels and get these kids out to exercise. And then you have people like that. It's like, come on, it's so absurd. It's just completely backwards, completely ass backwards.
Come on.
You know what RFK needs to wear? Remember Jack LaLanne? No, that would be awesome. Put RFK in a Jack LaLanne outfit. That would be kick ass. And have him in front of the juicer.
Watch this short clip too. This is
That'd
so
be
funny. Watch this.
Sure, for everyone watching, you never attacked a police officer. You didn't cause any damage to the Capitol, and this is how you were.
I never harmed a soul. I never touched a piece of property that didn't belong to me. I drank a shot of whiskey that belonged to me. And if drinking in the United States Capitol were a crime, Nancy Pelosi would be doing life in prison.
Oh, that's the best.
That's great. Here's Tom Homan in charge of the deportations. Watch this.
Your reaction to this clip, Tom. Play cut 369, please.
That's crazy.
One who intends to come take away the freedom and opportunity and dignity of Illinoisans, I would remind you that a happy warrior is still a warrior.
Oh, that's Pritzker. He's the governor of Illinois, right? And he's basically saying, you got to come through me. I'm like, okay. let's see what Tom Homan has to say.
You come for my people, you come through me.
Game 1 minute, your reaction, Tom.
Game on. We got no problem going through him. I got 20,000 men and women in ICE are going to do their job with no apology. Congress has enacted a law that protects this country. People need to understand. But what if they're not criminal aliens? Look, entering this country illegally is a crime. Every illegal alien in this country committed a crime to get here. So they're all criminals. And look, there's some worse than others. I get that. And even if they're not a criminal alien, when you cross that border and you overwhelm the Border Patrol, just because you're simply illegal alien, not a criminal, when you overrun the Border Patrol, that's when they get busy changing diapers, making baby formula, making hospital runs, making transportation runs. That's when the fentanyl comes across to kill 250,000 people. That's when you got 600% increase in sex trafficking. That's when you have a record number of terrorists crossing the border and people on the terrorist watch list. Illegal immigration is not a victimless crime. We're going to enforce the law without apologies. And the day Donald Trump takes that oath, we're in a go mode. And if any governor wants to stand in the way, go ahead and do it. We'll see what happens. I'm not going to be intimidated. The men and women of ICE ain't going to be intimidated. We're going to do our job the way President Trump has committed to the American people. We have a mandate, and we're going to do it.
I mean, that's why I worked as hard as I did on the election, everybody.
That's all. I mean, this is just so much winning. I almost can't take all the winning. My God, it's just fantastic. I mean,
we're back to normal, Chip. We're getting back to normal, and winning is part of American society. We're on our way. We're not back there yet. We're on our way.
Not back there yet. If I show you this next clip, listen to this.
On our way.
Here we go.
Oh yeah.
Nothing good happens after 2 a.m.
That's right.
Well, this morning at 2:23, Congress released a monster 1,012-page bill with $1 trillion price tag. They're rushing to pass the bill before you have a chance to read it. Why? Well, because it's full of pork. And we've been digging through it. And here's what you're paying for. Liz Warren is spending $850,000 on a gay senior citizen home in Boston. Florida has the villages. Massachusetts has the village people. We're spending $15 million to pay for Egyptians' college tuition. Egyptian tuition, not Egyptians who live in America, Egyptians in Egypt. Egyptian tuition. So we pay for illegals to go to college here, and now we're paying for the tuition before I guess they even cross the border.
Oh, Jeff, just want to make one comment here. All of the people that were laughing that they took Vivek and Elon that were in charge of DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency. If it's so efficient, why are there two? Ha, 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 ha. Meanwhile, this is the kind of stuff that DOGE is going to clean up, studies to see if rats can smell. I mean, who gives a shit? I mean, it's ridiculous stuff. We're going to pay for Egyptians' tuitions. Why? $15 million. People are homeless. Give me a break. What's wrong with these people? This is people in Congress.
Speaking of Egypt, Gold Bar Bob's sending 400 grand to a gay activist group that teaches elementary school kids about being trans.
They need to end that.
Not enough to keep you out of jail, Gold Bar. Sorry.
That's right. Gold.
Another $400,000 goes to a group that gives clothes to teens that help them hide their gender, like chest binders and tuckums. Parental permission not required. Even
These
Dianne
people are
Feinstein,
anti
who
this
unfortunately
country.
passed away long before the bill was written, has an earmark from the grave. $500,000 for a DEI zoo.
Come on.
The San Diego Zoo's getting $500,000 for an anti-racist nature appreciation program where high school kids from diverse backgrounds can observe wildlife. Why do they need $500,000 to go to the zoo? Tickets are like $15.
Not anymore.
That should be enough for every congressman, especially the Republicans, to vote no. But this massive bill will probably be on Biden's desk
Why is
this
it
weekend.
federal? Why isn't that
And he'll
state
just
run?
sign your money away. Poof.
Yeah, well, the good
Man.
news is this is ridiculous. Why?
Crypto, well, going to pick up a son. See ya. And good luck next time on the yes. It's not $15. It's not $15 to get into anything. Anywhere you go. And everything has a cost. Too many people want to see stuff. I don't remember the last time I was in a zoo. Some of the zoos are nice, you know, but I don't want to go to zoos where these beautiful animals are locked up in small cages. San Diego Zoo was, yeah. I mean, I haven't been there in probably since I was like 6, but
I was there since my 20s.
I haven't been to the Miami Zoo. I went to the Detroit Zoo. Detroit Zoo is actually pretty nice. I went to a zoo in Jerusalem.
Miami Zoo is not
pretty
bad.
cool, which is nice. You know what zoo is cool is the one in the Disney. What's that thing called?
Animal Kingdom.
Animal Kingdom is cool. I liked Animal Kingdom.
So did I. They have a bar.
That was the only part of Disney I like. What's that?
They have a bar in Africa, full bar. That's what I learned about.
Yeah.
It's the only place you can get alcohol in the whole place. I'm like, okay, why don't you take the girls to the show? I'm going to sit over here and hang out with these other dads over here while I have a old whiskey and
and you know when we went to Australia, man, I think all those animals they claim that actually live there, I think they're all like just fictitious because we didn't see them.
We didn't see a wombat. We didn't see a koala. We didn't see a kangaroo.
No, I was promised kangaroos on the golf course. I saw none. Nothing. Not even one. Not even in the distance.
We got to leave. But let's leave it with this clip. This guy goes off on Joyless Reed. He has something to say about Joyless Reed.
Joy Reid, stop fucking speaking for everybody, you lizard mole rat. You get on that motherfucker and tell you claim you don't know why everybody did what they did, and then you give your fucking explanation like a goddamn retard. I hate you, bug-eyed bitches. I swear to God, I hate you. I really just be wanting to throw them bitches until I'm fucking tired. This woman got on there and told Africans the reason why they voted for Donald Trump because they wanted to be on a bigger party. What? Them people come from communist countries, you stupid bitch. You don't do no motherfucking research. They really have dictators. You think they don't know what the fuck a dictator look like? You the only stupid motherfucker that went to Harvard and still stupid. Joy Reid, you back. Please get the fuck off the TV screen.
Damn.
I love that dude, man. He goes off.
Dude, that's some energy. I'll tell you what.
Passion. That's what you call passion.
Check that out, dude. Up 30%. It's $1.14.
Insane.
Man.
Since we've been on the air, dude.
Since we've been on the air, it's gone up. It's just like, it's crazy. This is, you know, hopefully just the smidge beginning of the bull market because, man, it's going just crazy. When you got Bitcoin hovering now, it's held position over 90,000. It was testing 90,000 for a while. It would drop down to 87, back up to 90, back down to 87, 88, back up to 91, 92, back down to 88. Man, if you're playing that market and just buying and selling Bitcoin all day long, man, you could be making a couple bucks because of all that up and down movement. But man, with XRP, one thing we looked at, it was slow. Sometimes you want things to go, and you want it to go slow, get a little bit of a boost, go a little bit slow, get another boost. I don't want that big spike up, but it's coming, man. This stuff, the crypto market's heating up. We got some SHIB right there sitting at 24. It went up to 29. I think it tested 3,000. It's on its way. And what's that? Oh, it used to be at like 8. Yeah, it's got to erase another 0 over here. I want to see the SHIB do some business over there. SUI at 373. It was 377.
95 cents a couple weeks ago.
How much?
Sui's another Solana. That thing's going.
What was that at?
It was at like 95 cents, like when I looked at it like in September.
Damn, 95 cents. Litecoin going up to 100. It's at $90 right now.
Litecoin. Dude, the Sui's going to 100.
Stellar's at 17. That was hovering around like 6, 7, 8 cents.
I gotta get rid of my Stellar. It's just garbage.
Stella.
Who cares?
Then there's all sorts of other stuff here.
So
the impressive one for a little bit here, what was impressive was the Doge. You know why Doge is impressive? Because now you have the Department of Government Efficiency, Doge.
No, why it's impressive is it's now has a use case with Flare.
That's true too.
They'll be able to stake it. So
it's another one we need back on the show. Or we need on the show. I reached out, did not hear, but I'd love to have.
Who'd you reach out to?
Need to talk about Flare.
Okay.
Flare. Anyone has any
Jim D says you need
contact?
$4 XRP to force sell a few, pay some taxes. You otherwise want 20 to dump 50%. Dude, I'll give me 10, man. Give me 10. I'll dump 50%. I don't care at this point. I'll dump 20%.
It's on its way.
Let's go.
The 10th of the way there.
Yeah, but don't worry though. This is all because of this has nothing to do with Trump. Nothing.
Nothing. Yeah, nothing.
Sweet 589 would be nice too.
Canadian. Is that a C? Is that a Canadian?
Yeah.
What is it? Is that Canadian dollars? What is that little C there? Is that what we're talking about?
Who knows? We got to get out of here though.
It's 589 Canadian. Was that like 50 cents?
That's exactly what you have in the UK. Hate to say it, but true. Don't worry, dude. You'll have your moment.
Up
You'll have your
88%.
moment.
Damn.
Wait, what is
going?
Wait, I'm sorry, I didn't see that comment.
Zahao.
Yeah, there you go. Very nice.
Coinbase at $1.23. Stuff's moving. It's moving.
Can't buy them all,
Everything's
dude.
moving.
Can't.
And what about XDC? That's just been that's sitting. What did we say that was at? 8 cents,
3, 4, something like that. 3 cents.
Was it still
High
3
as
cents?
16.
What's that? What was the highest?
I'm dumping
17?
I'm dumping that bag for Sui, I think. My XDC.
They got wrapped at XDC is up 45%. It's currently at 4 cents.
Yeah, well,
right there.
That went up a little bit since
Yeah,
it's gone
since
up.
we started the show. Everything's gone up since we started the show. I mean,
It could go up to yeah, that's what happens in this show. Things go up. Cops start
everything
streaming,
goes up. Get some positivity.
things go
We
down.
believe
Things go
in
bad.
positivity. That's
it. So that's it. That's all we have, guys. That's all we have. We will be back tomorrow night. And
oh yeah, tomorrow night's another night.
Or mayhem. Sui.
Someone like Sui.
Sui is the one, man. Sui's gonna be like a Solana. It's gonna go to 200, 250, $1.50, 2. It's the one.
When Chip cashes out, there'll be nothing left for us.
Yeah, so I'm just rolling. I'm just rolling in that monkey business. My 20-year-old plasma stream blew up yesterday. Oh man.
Only watch
Plasma stream.
Plasma. Are those things still around? 20 years old.
Apparently they are. It's 20 years old. Darren,
20 years old. It's pretty amazing. What's an SMR?
Smaller screen? I don't know. Who knows? Who knows for sure, man? Nobody knows.
Great show. Right. Yeah.
Appreciate
All right.
it.
Tomorrow
We had a
night.
lot of fun. We'll see
What
you
time
guys
are we coming back tomorrow night? We'll get another badass Yeti out to
Jeff and I are gonna both get
proud
tattooed.
new owner.
MAGA.
MAGA. Yeah, that's right. We need to do that. That'll be kick ass.
Hell no. Hells to the no.
And then a big badass Yeti.
Yeti.
Yes, we'll get a badass Yeti.
So you can hold up both and be like badass Yeti, like a cross badass Yeti.
Yeah. Just make sure they're not on the wrong arms.
Yeah.
Put it so it's backwards.
That would be.
Yeah.
There's nothing that makes me happier than watching people get a permanent tattoo with what it's misspelling, or like a really bad face portrait, and they're always like, when they put the shaving cream and they like wipe it off, and they're super excited. It's like it looks like that. It really is some of the best entertainment around. It really is. But that I mean it. We got to go.
Price for Sunday night, 130, like a $1.30.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves, Charles. Let's not get too.
Well, we're at $1.15, so a $1.30 is not too far away by Sunday night.
Keeps doing this,
but not 130.
Pull back, you know.
We're looking at this.
The funny thing was during the SEC suit, it got as high as like $1.80 something or 90. It was almost $2. And here we get free reign, but it's happy days now, man, because we got this new administration coming in. So much winning every single day.
Every day is more winning.
We're gonna have a great weekend. Let's keep them. Let's see where we are tomorrow. Let's see who has the price predictions. $1 to $1.30. There you go.
Let's go.
But that's it. Getting out of here. I mean it.
Bitcoin at 100,000.
Time.
Let's do it.
I'm gonna play the outro. You ready?
Yep. Let's do it.
Chip and Jeff.
Out.
Are you down with OTC? Please like, subscribe, and click the bell to be notified when the next video drops.